Hold up, y'all. I started this a little too early. I gotta work some shit still, okay? Just hang out. Look at my ceiling. Just stare at it. All right. Well, we're gonna get this started because why not? Can I like zoom out? Am I like? I feel like I'm hella zoomed in. Can I zoom out? Can I zoom out? I don't think so. Okay. I don't think I can. What the heck, man? What the? All right. We don't need to be cursing this early. Where? What the heck? All right. We're not doing that. I guess you get to be this close to me the whole time. It's good. It's good. It's nice and personal. Let's get yes. All right, y'all can see my screen. Okay, awesome. Right now, kind of just waiting for people to fill in. If they have any questions, feel free to ask. If you're new here or you're watching in the future after this is already uploaded, then feel free to still ask your questions because I look at comments. So I'd be happy to see someone commenting. I'll definitely respond. I don't know what's going on here. I actually did take a short already. We made $1,300. Although this is on my paper account, I do have a funded account, but it's like I don't know. Asia session's weird. I didn't want to actually put a real trade. Right now, I guess we can just go over this. So we'll start with the 4 hour, right? We just want to make a note of where we're at on the 4 hour. Holy shit! Actually, that's a lot of. I'm gonna go to the 1 day. Okay, the daily is kind of. It's so flat. It's so crazy. Okay, let's see here. Set some major trend lines. These are important to have because without trend lines like this, where the fuck do you know? How the fuck do you know price is going anywhere? You know what I mean? You gotta know where price is going to know where price is going. You know what I mean, right? So then we can. I like to trail it back as far as I can sometimes. I mean, as long as it still lines up, we're good. I think it stopped after that. I think it's irrelevant after that point. Yeah, it's not even lined up. Okay. So we'll just leave it at this. Yeah. There's no real reason for that. It's just like, it's more proof, more evidence. If you can get more than 1 point, it's like, okay, it's already rejected this level 4 times. So we're either going to push past this or we're going to reject it again for the last time and just fucking skyrocket. Normally, it's the former, right? That means the first one, right? So it's usually just going to break past it once it's retested something this many times. That being said, this is the daily. So this has happened since, like, this started in June last year. So it's not realistic that we're going to even go close to this level, but I just kind of wanted to see what was going on here. And then we got another one. This one's a little bit smaller. It means a little less. Now, obviously, we're still in a bullish trend. We're still going to the upside, like on the long run. But this last month, literally, you can see January 29th, it just started going down. Since then, it's kind of been down. I mean, it hasn't made a new high since then, right? So since, when you zoom out far enough, you can see this is the trend. The trend is still on the up. And that's what it is. That's the bottom line. I can't make it any more simple than that. The trend is up, okay? This means that this is a counter trend. This is not the real trend yet. This is the counter trend, right? So realistically, we would probably want to see price push up a little bit, push down again, and then maybe come out and retest this part where it like converges, retest that part, and then see a lot of long. But now, if you look at the chart based on timing, this convergence doesn't happen until the end of March. Okay, so there's still a whole nother month that honestly I expect to see some kind of consolidation. Like, I don't expect to see a break out of this range until the end or the beginning of March, which is about 2 weeks away, right? So that being said, that's why we don't go too far out in time zones. Like, it's good to see, like, okay, on the daily, we're in a downtrend, but also in like the last week, what is that? Last week, it's been kind of an uptrend, right? It's made a higher high, higher low, higher high, whatever. It's in an uptrend since then too. But also, that being said, the last month is completely down. The last 6 months are up, right? So we have a counter trend on the monthly. It's not reasonable to make a trade off of a daily time frame, but I'm just looking at it because you can get stronger levels with higher time frames. Let's just put it that way. That being said, we're done with that. We can go to this 4 hour. Okay. The 4 hour is pretty nice because it gives us a lot more information than the daily does, right? It tells you what happened within those days. So this was Monday, I think, Friday. Yeah, Friday started right there and then carried on. It was pretty flat. It ended high, right? It ended up high. And then market open was technically down here, but it ended high, ended up. One thing that I will say, I was actually waiting for this weekend to open because I wanted to short. That's why I have this paper trade. I just didn't want to take a real trade. I couldn't tell you any reason why, but it's just safer. No reason to risk money if you don't want to, right? So, but this weekend, it looks like this on the 4 hour, and I'm pretty sure that's called a doji. Don't hate on me if I get that wrong, but that's a doji candle. Usually it's a sign of reversal. Usually it's a sign of reversal. So if you see a doji like that and it's coming from the upside, then typically the downside is going to come back and at least match that low. Because usually it's not like a huge move sign because you're basing it all off of one candle. It's not the best way to do it, but you can go off of it and be like, okay, cool. This doji is definitely, a bearish signal. So I'm going to take that. I'm at least going to short to the most recent low that happened, which when you're in closer than the 4 hour, you can see there's a low that was a good target. And I targeted that and I made $1,300. It's on a paper account. I wish it was real, but can't all be wins, right? So that being said, that was a pretty easy trade, especially on the lower time frame, right? Now we're still looking at the 4-hour because we want to mark out some key levels. Okay, so in my mind, I'm looking at this and I see this huge wick sitting right here, and I like that. To me, that says, okay, there's a lot of signal there, right? And then we can look into the future since then, right? We can look into what it's been doing, and we can see, oh, okay, it actually did reject that level. Like it rejected it pretty hard, right? So that's a good level to have marked because chances are it rejects that level again in the future. Or we can use that as a breakout level because that's the most recent high since its last move, right? So besides that, our most recent low is this one down here, the 4-hour. It's that low, right? Now we want to set like our targets essentially for the day. Like I want to have something up here, maybe like that's a good target, and something like that. Like those are targets. You can target these kind of zones. Whereas like, okay, there's draws on liquidity that need to be hit in either this level or this level to see a breakout to the upside or to the downside, right? If we see it break out this level, chances are it goes up to the upside. If we see it break out of this level, chances are we see it dump, right? So we want to be aware of these high time frame levels. Now that we have the high time frame levels, we can zoom in a little bit, right? We don't need to be on the 4-hour and go to the 1-hour. We can at least see what's going on. Okay, so if you trade fair value gaps, there's a bearish signal right here, right? If you want to trade order blocks, supply and demand, there's a zone right here, which it's hitting, rejecting at this very moment. What else we got? We can leave that though. What else we got? Come on, guys. We could actually draw more trend lines, but I really like to keep it to 2. I think maximum 2 trend lines is like the best way to do it, because if you start drawing too many trend lines, the screen starts getting overwhelming. It's just not worth it to do it that way. I mean, that's pretty much all I think we're going to get from the 1-hour. Maybe except something like, I don't know. I don't like this zone at all. I mean, it did reject this zone, and that's where the shorts would have been the best to enter at that very peak. But I think we're good. We'll just leave it there. Okay. I like to extend these out as I can, just so you don't have to redraw them later, if you know what I mean. It's always a pain. Okay. So now that that's sorted, we got our chart. I mean, it's pretty much set up for the day. Now I'd probably redo this in the morning before market open, because chances are it does its thing. I'd like to see it come back up here, have some turbulence, come back down, right? Hit this zone, sweep it, and then see it come up. And then like market open, I want to see it just like, I want to be able to go long tomorrow. So I need to see it do something kind of like this. Or we could see something like, oh, hold on, I want to change color. Okay, whatever. We could see it do something like this too, where it comes down immediately and then just kind of bottoms out for a second, and then market open, like again, see it pump. This is kind of what I expect. I expect market to just kind of have some upside on market open. That being said, it totally could do the opposite, and we could see it like spike up. Could see it come all the way up there, right? Oh shit, that wasn't good. Could see it come all the way up there, do something like this, and then see it dump tomorrow too. We could see something like that and see it reject off this line. right? I think something like that would make a lot of sense too. Here we can change the color. Change the color of this one. This is kind of what I would expect out of the market. Although now that I'm looking at it, this like time frame is way off. Time frame's way off, but you know what I mean. I want to see upside tomorrow, one way or another. This red one's probably would be the worst, because that kind of signals that it doesn't go up until Tuesday, which makes sense too. This blue one, I would like to see that tomorrow because that would be the upside that I'm looking for. The yellow one's a bit excessive. That would mean that price would have to just go on a bull run for 2 days. And then middle of Tuesday market, we just see it dump, right, until Thursday. Just Thursday, it flattens out. And then Friday, we see it pump up a little bit. That would be ideal. I mean, that might even be more realistic than the other two. But those are kind of the paths that I'm looking at based on this. That's the thing. Okay, you can never be like 100% right. You can never draw one line and be like, oh, it's going to follow this path. Sometimes you'll be right. But we got to think. We got to think in probabilities. You have to be able to think, okay, it'll probably do this because it's done this. It'll probably reject here because it's done it before, right? Things like that. That's how we want to be thinking. Now, again, these lines are way off on time frame. Because we're still looking at the 1 hour. We go to the 15-minute, we might be able to draw something a little bit more accurate. So we'd be like, boom, 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 right? Little liquidity sweep, boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then something like that, boom, right? That'd be cool. I'd like to see something like that. But that would also mean more downside if we saw something like that. Another one that would be good would be something like boom, 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 and then push past the upside, right? And then reject, like retest, and then keep pushing. That would also be really good, just for the market as a whole, honestly. And then realistically, there's always a lot of downside to consolidation like this. So we could see it come and hit this down, or it could come down and hit this uptrend, like the monthly trend, and we could see it kind of like skyrocket after that because that's kind of how it's acted in the past, right? That being said, we can color these again. Make this one blue. We'll leave that one red, and we'll make this one yellow. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't hate to see something like that either. It's good to be thinking in probabilities. I mean, price will probably do something, right? That's the easiest way to put it. It could also just do this, right? It could just like fuck everyone over and everyone have a terrible day, right? It could just be one of those shit days. Now, I don't think that'll happen just because the whole last week was consolidation. I mean, well, yeah, when did it start? Monday was over here. Yeah, Monday, Sunday, Monday. And then it's just consolidation from then on. Really, really setting us up for one way or another this week. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, people. So that could happen too. We could see it reject off this level again and then just keep dumping, break out, keep dumping, break out, keep dumping, etc. Is there anyone in here? No one's here. I'm going to take a trade. So for that, I like to at least look at the 5 minute, but I will typically enter on a 1 minute as long as we're checking zones from other time frames. 1 minute time frames are not good zones to be checking for stop losses and take profits, right? If you're on the 1 minute, you can end up setting your you can end up setting either one actually. You can end up setting your stop loss way too close and get stopped out for a reason you don't need to be stopped out for, right? So want to at least be looking at the 5 minute when we're trying to decide what we actually want to be in, right? And then now we can draw a couple more things. We can be like, okay, cool. This is the downtrend, right? Okay, cool. We've got a counter trend. Okay, cool. So in the next candle or two, we actually are going to see a breakout. Personally, I want to sell this, so I'm going to sell it. I'm going to put my stop loss above the most recent high. I'm going to put my take profit somewhere reasonable. Put it up above this. $1,000. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We'll leave it there. That being said, now we just wait. Now we just want to see it do its thing, right? So on the 1 minute, that would look like this. No chance you put your stop loss all the way over there, even though that's still only $200 on a mini, right? You buy 5 minis, it's still only $1,000 for $5,000 or $1,000 compared on how many you buy. If you buy one, you get $1,000. If you buy five, you get 5,000. You know, pretty easy math there. That being said, I don't know. I guess we just kind of vibe and watch this until someone shows up and asks some questions. I got my coffee here just so I can stay alive. It's 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. right now. It's getting late. I was at the grocery store all day. Because man's gotta eat. We had salmon tonight. My girlfriend made it. Shit was good. Man. Man, it's not moving, huh? She's not going nowhere. Some people would be like, oh, why don't you just take it on your real account if you really think it's going to go down? Well, because these aren't my trading hours. These aren't the hours that I have rules set for. If I was going to trade for real, I would have taken a trade up here. And I did. That's where the $1,300 came from. But I entered late. And that's why I didn't enter on my real account, because I entered like all the way down here and I had to put my stop loss up here, which was like $300, which it's not bad risking $300. I just didn't want to do that. It's not what I wanted to do. For risking a trade on Asia's session, I mean, fuck, it could have just gone straight, been in it for an hour, and then just been pissed because it would have stopped me out for break even. You know, we don't want to waste our time like that. We want good trades. Now, there might be a better trade somewhere in here, but that's why my stop loss is also a little high on this one, because honestly, there's not a terrible zone sitting right here that I'd like to see it reject off of. Whereas if we do see it come to the downside, I want to see it come down sharply and then retest before doing anything else. Because if it came down and then it entered back into this counter trend, right, then I'd be worried about it pushing to the upside, because that would be a liquidity sweep on anybody else who trades trend lines. Anybody who's trading this break of structure, if they're trading that and it sweeps them, right? If they're like, okay, I'm in profit, hell yeah, or they enter in and their stop loss is going to be somewhere up here or somewhere above these highs, I don't want to be right above those highs if I know people are going to get stopped out on them if it wicks. Like it's wicking right now, right? Like it went below this range and it's kind of rejecting it, right? So we could even kind of do this and line it up a little bit better to our liking, right? So it rejected that pretty hard. It rejected that, and this break of structure didn't actually get confirmed because we didn't close below it, right? So that's just, we're still on a 1 minute time frame, so it's not saying a whole lot, but it did get rejected, right? It's coming back up and it's rejecting the same trend line that it's been fighting with, right? So that's, to me, still like, I'm not going to exit this position. I want to see it sweep out everyone who's been in this trade for the last 30 minutes, right? That's what I want to see, because that gives me the money when it goes down, right? At this point, you could go into like the 5 minute too, zoom out just a little bit so you don't have to watch every single tick go by, and then go do something. Like, just go do something else. You know what I mean? You don't got to sit with it every second of the day. Ah, man, that rejection. I'd like to see it come up here. If I was going to take a real entry, it'd probably be off of a rejection up here. That's like a hard bet, because if it comes up here, then it can reject off of here too. If it rejects off of this level, then I'd be fucked, right? I'd be fucked. So we just hold. We just hold. There's no point in over positioning. There's no point in doing anything hastily yet. Price hasn't done anything since we entered into this position. I mean, we've gone into drawdown by like $25, but we're risking like 200. So why would we worry about $25, right? That's 2 pips, especially when you're trading a micro on ES. That's only 2 pips. So realistically, you got to give it some room to breathe. And usually my max that I'll put my stop loss is like 10%, or like, I'm looking at it, right, and it says 11%. I usually try to keep it in that 10% or lower range, which is about 300 or less. Every now and then I have put it in like a little more than that. I'll do like $500 or $600, but it just depends. I tend to lose those trades anyways. Like, if I need to put my stop loss that high, then probably wrong. I shouldn't have to put a stop loss that far away. Now this is okay. $225. That's not bad risk, especially for $1,000. That's 5 to 1, right? That's pretty good. Anyone should be happy with that. Still just waiting for a breakout. If you're new here, you should probably check out my Snapchat. I post daily there. If you just want to see more updates, more lifestyle, what I'm doing in the days, what I'm not. All right, so this candle I think is screaming that we're going to go up, and I'm shorting this, so that's no bueno. That is no bueno. You know what I mean? That's no bueno. I would still like to see it reject this. Just like eat up that supply and then dump. And see, this is what I mean. Like, we were zoomed in to just this, and then you zoom out, you just zoom out, you just zoom out. And these levels that you made from like the 15-minute and the 1 hour are just ginormous. That's how it should be. Because those time frames are higher impact, right? So if we're gonna hit one of those if we're gonna hit one of those, it's gonna be bigger, because the 1 hour, more things can happen. Blow your minds real quick. I don't think that's a real rejection, not gonna lie. I think it'll push just a little more, little bit. Whoa! There's our breakout, honestly. If we don't close inside this zone or below it, oof, oof, that's pretty harsh. Let's sweep these people out, man. Oh my god. There's not really much to go off of here. I think this is what we were waiting for. Hells yeah, man. I said it, right? I said it, right? I want these last 30 minutes to just get swept. Oh shit. Whoa. I don't know about this anymore. I don't know about this anymore. Oh man. It's officially broken this high. We did not sweep it. We actually closed above it. It's not necessarily what we're looking for, but we're already in the trade, so let it ride. Let it ride. Is there anyone here? Got no one here. I had someone ask me to do this live stream. Okay, man. I'm gonna share this real quick. Get some people. Yeah. All right. The 5 minutes still looking good for us, actually. So just hold it here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let me get this sent out so we can get some people in here. Oh, come on. Close below that. Yes. 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 No. You bitch. You bitch. What the fuck? I don't even know what I'm actually allowed to say here on YouTube, so I hope I don't get in trouble. What is going on here? What is we doing, man? What is we doing? 1 minute rejection, maybe? Nah. Because we're still safe from that. It hasn't rejected this yet. Hmm. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Very nice. That is game. Nah, man. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing? Where are you doing? Not even that. Why? What the fuck? Man, what the hell, man? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Got people playing fucking music from the street. Never stops. What we got going on, baby? We're at risking $312. Can you guys hear that shit? Oh my god. Never ends, dude. I swear to God, it never ends. Hold on. Alright, we're just gonna let this ride. I'll be right back. I think we're still pretty safe. Not Oh, I already did mute it. Okay. We're gonna leave this here. I'll be right back. Well, would you look at that? It's like magic. Walk away for 5 minutes, and you're magically winning. Like a wizard, man. A wizard. Hell yeah, dude. Now I'd like it to just keep pushing. Can we just like, what the fuck are you doing? Not very cash money. Not very chill. Not really. The zone there. Well, sorta. Well, what the fuck? What the heck? We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. It was 15 minutes, look like. Okay. Okay, 15 is not too bad. It's not too bad. Could actually. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Could actually do this. And then do this. No. This. No. Well. Sure. Let's do that. Gives us a little bit more favor, actually, to our side. Now, would you look at that? Now, this is all hindsight 2020 kind of thing, right? Trend lines can only help you so much. They're almost as bad as support and resistance if you use them by yourself, by themselves, rather, right? So, still got to use it correctly. Don't want to be fucking up that kind of thing. But it's still good to know, like, okay, if we see it leave this zone, then we're probably going to see it push down. If we see it leave this zone, we're definitely going to see it push up. You know what I mean, right? It makes sense. Now, it rejected this zone pretty hard. So we want to see it come back up, retest this zone as it's doing, actually. We'll probably see it do another test, and then we'll see it break out. Now, it is like, there is a lot of just, there's a lot of demand sitting underneath this. So realistically, we'd want to just see it pump down instead of like fighting this zone. We want to see it pump down because if it's fighting this zone, chances are it sweeps this on a higher time frame, which we can't see because we're on a lower time frame, right? So we want to at least be checking out, 5 minute, 15-minute here and there just to double check that our higher time frames aren't getting swept. Which on the higher time frame, this was the sweep. I'm just saying, double check shit. Want to be double checking shit. What the fuck? Yeah, so now a lot of people would enter in on a move like this, even though it's already been going. Like they'd enter in because this candle closes where it closes. I don't understand where you would put your stop loss in that situation. Yeah, you could put it above the breakout, but chances of it actually retesting this breakout compared to this breakout, pretty low. I'd want to see it retest this breakout instead of this breakout. That's why I'm fine with this entry. I wouldn't be okay with an entry down here because that's almost twice as much as how much I'm already risking, which is $300, right? 220 or 262, right? So if that's how much we're risking, if we entered down here after the breakout and after the close, in fact, but let's just say, we got best case scenario. We entered in on this breakout. if that were the case, seeing it retest that breakout before the move finishes, I don't know, I feel like you'd get stopped out. I don't know where you'd put your stop loss in a reasonable position without putting it above this high, or at least this high, which is my entry. I don't know. Personally, I aim for better stop losses than that. Like entering off of uh, inverse fair value gaps, like you gotta wait for shit for that kind of thing. And even then, like sometimes it just doesn't happen. I mean, what happens if you went long off of something like this little one? And I know it's not a big one, but like let's say this one, it got inversed. Let's say you entered off of this close and then stopped out. Or let's say you entered off of this retest, right? Stopped out. And maybe your target was only this, but then you're fucking scalping, and that's just borderline stupid. And I get it. A lot of people make money scalping, but like there's rules to it, Scalp for 5 minutes is different than a scalp for 10 seconds, right? If you can scalp on 10-second like time frames, then chances are you're a really good trader. If you're scalping on like 5-minute moves or 10-minute moves like this, you can do better. You can do better than that. Like if you can see a move like that, you can see higher time frame moves. Therefore, you should be able to catch more money from the market than scalping can offer you. Because chances are, if you're taking 30 trades a day and your win rate is 3 to 10 or whatever, 3 to 7 or whatever, right? You only win 30% of the time. Even with scalps, or especially with scalps, you're going to be losing more money than you could make. If you take 5 trades a week, right? 1 trade a day, and you lose 7 times out of 10, but you win those 3 times, at least your trades will last long enough to make enough money back from the other fucking 7 losses that you have, right? And that's worst case scenario. If you're a really bad trader, then you might only get 1 win out of 10, or even worse, you might even get 1 win out of 100, right? At that point, you should just keep practicing on paper trading, stop losing money, right? But if you're going to be risking money anyways, right, you might as well do it the right way. Right? We don't need to have excessive stop losses. We don't want to have them in the wrong places, right? See, and here's that retest. I don't know where you would have put your stop loss. I mean, if you put it at my entry, yeah, you probably would have been safe. But if you put it above the breakout, I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to have a tight stop loss, but man, probably would have been fucked. If we're being honest here, Damn, what a close. And people question it. They're like, oh, how can you tell where the market's going to go? You can't tell where the market's going to go. It's just gambling. Just ignore them. I mean, just seriously ignore them at this point. There is no real way to tell where the market's going. In that sense, they're right. But when you say something like that, they're going to get it all in their head and be like, oh, I'm right, so you should listen to me. Well, the thing is, they're not entirely right? Like there's other things that come into play that make a trade a trade. Like you can tell where price is going to go. You just have to understand why price is going to go, where it's going to go. A lot of people who see trading, who have even tried trading and just failed, will look at it and be like, well, that's not a smart idea because I lost money, right? It's gambling because you can't tell where price is going to go. It's random. It's not random. There are laws behind the psychology of markets. I mean, this market is a bit more high tech than simpler ones like a flea market. But even those, there's supply and demand. There's balance of price. There's everything that's here. The only difference is you're looking at a chart instead of seeing it in prices, right? You're looking at things going up and down. You're like, holy shit, this is actually people making decisions. It's not just random. there are people who are making decisions, right? Someone saw this pump up, hit this level, so they sold it at a premium price. They got the best price possible for selling it short, right? If you're going to short it, you want it to go up before you short it. That way you can get the best entry possible. That's why liquidity sweeps exist. Same thing with the downside to the upside. You want it to go down, right? So that you can get the cheapest price possible so that when you go long, you make the most money possible, right? That's the whole idea of it. Every market the same way. Every market is the same way. I mean, you have flea markets, right? Or you have farmers markets, and in those, people will charge certain things, but if they're charging too much, they have to lower their price or they don't get enough customers. Then they lower their price to a balancing point where it makes sense, right? The market here does the exact same thing. There are people making decisions. And that's why price moves where it moves, right? There are people who see certain things from the price action, or people who hear certain news about price. And that makes them decide to do certain things like sell. I mean, right now, that's all we're seeing, right? We're just seeing sell side because over the weekend it was up, right? So over the weekend it was all the way up here. Anybody who didn't take profits out earlier Friday, right, is going to take profits, right? It's their turn. And then they start seeing it dump. And then they're like, holy shit, my position from Friday, if they entered on Friday, has been completely swept out. It's gone. My position from Friday is gone, right? So all of them are going to be selling their positions too. That means once we see it reject this zone, we want to see it just blast through this. On the 15-minute, it just should be one candle, right? That's what we would want to see because that would confirm that we understand that people who have shares in the market, and I understand that this is the S&P 500. That is a lot of people, but still, these orders are being placed, and that influences price. And there's people placing these orders, and yeah, sure, some of it might be robotic or automated or whatever, but people made these decisions to automate it, to program it, or whatever. People do these things. It's all based on psychology. That's why psychology is one of the most important things to understand when it comes to trading. Even if it's not your own, just understanding how people's psychology works, understanding how people think about money or trading, just understanding that is enough to like change your own perspective and be like, oh, it's more than just numbers. It's actually decisions being made that cause price to do this certain things, right? A lot of people probably went long, right? That's why price went up. And either those people got stopped out here or got stopped out up here or whatever. But they're either they're they're out of their positions by now, right? That's why price is going down. Because people are now just selling positions. Push the price down. I think that makes sense. Oh, hey, what's up? Market opened, what is that, 4 hours ago? And yeah, I'm just on my paper account. I have a real account at this point, but I didn't want to trade on it tonight just because I prefer to trade market open, like the actual New York open, because there's a lot more volatility. There's a lot more people trading. So price moves faster and you can take profits easier. You don't have to worry about waiting. Like I've already been in this trade for almost an hour, maybe. I mean, when did this stream start? Yeah, almost an hour. I've been in this trade. So it's just paper money though, because yeah. Um, Monday, or I guess it's Sunday. Sunday market is just like sketchy. I already took a trade as well on my paper account. I made $1,300 on my paper account, but that was earlier. I traded this open. Stop loss was up here, right? Take profit was about right there. Took profit. and then started the stream, and now we're looking at this. I'm still shorting it. Had a little bit of drawdown. It almost hit our stop loss, but it pushed down. I moved my stop loss a little tighter, and now we're just targeting this, which is $2,000. Be really cool to hit. Even though we're on a paper account, it'd still be really cool to hit, in my opinion. It's just like confirmation, you know? It's like, okay, cool, I can do this. I've been explaining supply and demand. I don't know if you entered before that, but if you're still interested. Man, it was a pretty strong level. I think this was from the 1 hour. That's where we got this from. Yeah, pretty strong level. Chance of rejection is pretty high. I mean, we could downsides. Even then, still pretty strong level. 15-minute might look a little bit better for us. Might even move my stop loss or take profit up. 15-minute does look really good for us, honestly. Yeah, I'm liking this. It kind of does suck. I mean, tomorrow might just be like this kind of thing, honestly, which would be annoying, but there would be trades in there, so we'll hit them. We'll get them. Okay, we'll make some trades. Just won't be any crazy bangers, you know, like $1,500 at once or something. You never know. Could be, but you never know. Oh shit! I gotta take this. Okay, so good news. Finally got a truck sold that we had waiting back home. Or I guess where we come from. This is home. I live in Puerto Rico now. I don't want to. I don't want to live in Idaho. It's just cold there. But been trying to sell a car since we moved here, just for a little extra money. Finally got it sold, which is nice. But we just stocked fridge, so we don't need the money or anything at the moment. But it's damn nice to have. Really nice to have. That, and we're up $1,800 tonight, which is just amazing. I mean, 1,900 now, which is just amazing. I mean, honestly, probably go for like another 30 minutes or so. And I do just like, I want to point out how well this trade went, right? I know entry could have been a little bit better, but stop loss, it doesn't really get much better than only risking. And then I re-entered on a position or on the position, same position, just a little higher, right? So we're risking a little more than that now. We're risking 262, but that's only an extra $50 than we started with, honestly. So that's like normally, I mean, like worst case scenario, my stop loss would end up all the way up here, which I've found ways to get around that. My first stop loss was $300 because I entered late, right? Made $1,300 on this first move, and then entered in on this second breakout here. Still need it to keep pushing through this zone. This is a 1 hour zone. Um, don't have a name for it. People keep strategy names. Like, dude, I created this myself. I'll come up with names when it makes sense. This is just a supply zone or demand zone or whatever. But it is a key level, and it's obviously getting rejected. So we're going to keep it marked, right? What's the 1 minute look like? 1 minute's making a bottom. Okay. What's NASDAQ doing? Okay, we're actually at equals. Okay, that's good. No, we're good. So honestly, we're still cruising and bruising. I mean, we could keep drawing zones out all night, but I hate like overcrowding my screen with zones and lines and bullshit. So just clean this up a little bit. Um, put a line here. Put a line here. We'll just delete this. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I'm sure if you've been trading for a while, you know this. But if you have like a 50 or a 0.5 or 50% line on your rectangle or your box, whatever you call it, um, you can easily mark out a little 50% just by copying it. And then I'll change it to a dash line too, just because like that makes it helps me understand, okay, this was the zone. I just don't seeing the big gray box that it is. Right. Polka dotted? No. Okay. Whatever. That was weird. I thought it was like weird. Okay. Anyways, projecting this zone, and it is still a pretty big zone. I mean, there are ways to make it smaller, but I'm not too. It's the real zone's actually a lot bigger. It goes like all the way down here. Back up, reject this. Here we can draw it out. Keep coming up, reject this, maybe even sweep this, right? Even test this, and then boom, come down here. Turbulence, right? Boom, come down here. Turbulence, right? And then hold on. And then we see it hit our stop loss. Take profit. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know. That'd be cool to see. For tomorrow, I don't even know what to say yet because it just depends on what it does while I'm not paying attention uh, for what kind of trade we're taking, right? So I feel like a lot of people don't understand this too. I feel like I'm just going to throw this in here anyways because why the hell not? Um, People don't really mention that trading is like genuinely kind of boring. Um, I mean, yeah, it can be really exciting, especially because you've got money on the line, you're risking money and making money and fun. But we've been here for an hour and 9 minutes, and we're up $400. Again, still, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's fucking great. I mean, most people would kill to make that amount of money in 1 hour, right? It's great, but it's boring. Okay, I've been sitting at my computer for an hour doing nothing but that. Now, that being said, if this were real money, make your $400, go fuck about the rest of your day because that's more than you'd make at any normal job. If you went to college, you got a normal, like a reasonable job, like a career job, then fine. $400 might be nothing to you too. But that's why trading is awesome because $400 doesn't have to be the end of it. We're going for $2,000 on this trade, right? I mean, we could even move it up here and it'd still be an insane amount. $1,500, right? We're targeting that $1,500 in one day, right? We've already made $1,300. How much more do you need? So, uh, yeah, yeah. We just kind of wait now. That's the one thing new traders uh, need to get better at is just being patient. Like earlier when we were in drawdown, I stepped away. I literally stepped away. And if you're watching this, if you actually watched the whole last hour of this, then you would have seen that. I walked away. I just got up for a minute. I was like, all right, we're either going to hit my stop loss while I'm away, or we're going to keep going the way that I want to, like I said it would, and we're good, right? We'll just leave it, right? Just set and forget. If you watch any like good trader, they'll mention something like leave it, set and forget, or sit on your hands, be patient. Every good trader will mention something like that if they're trying to at least enlighten you a little bit, right? It's just so important because you could take profit out right now. Then you check it in an hour and then it goes all the way down here. It's like, oh shit, I could have made $1,500, but I took profit at 300 because it went up a little bit. What the fuck? Yeah, why would you do that? So we want to maximize and we want to be able to wait. Patience. I don't know if I explained it on a video on my YouTube, but patience is just it's one of the most important things because you could have a really good trade and zero patience, and therefore you only make a tenth or maybe even lose money that you shouldn't have lost because your trade was still good. You just got in your head, weren't patient, couldn't wait it out, whatever. You need to avoid that shit. I think at this point I'm just like talking to myself. So Oh, I want to play music so bad, but last time I played music, it got removed because YouTube flagged it for copyright. That shit was gay. What do we got going on here? How do you even find an entry? Good question. So, our last stream, we were talking about phases. Phases of the market essentially tell you when price will do certain things. And pretty much I saw a phase and I was like, okay, I want to enter that, right? So it was low time frame. What's great about the phases is that you can see them always. My original entry was actually all the way up here on open because we had this thing going on Friday close, Friday pre or post market, after market. Um, just this is a perfect ideal setup slash signal, right? For me, it's telling me there's a large distribution happening, right? There's somebody or multiple people with a large amount of orders who want to exit these orders, right? So the whole weekend, I was just thinking, damn, when this opens, it's going to go down. So I entered on a position. I honestly could have entered better, but I was late. And when I actually got to it, it was at this candle right here. And so I just didn't want to enter it on my real account, but I did enter. And so my entry looked something like this. My stop loss was above these highs. So I wanted it to kind of close this gap um, on a higher time frame, but that was about $300. And then my take profit was set at these lows down here, and we made $1,300 on that one, right? Let's get rid of these. And then this one was a little bit harder to find just because it was live. Because this continuation, I think personally is harder to find than reversals sometimes. Because reversals you can make more money off of. Continuations, it's like okay, I can make so much money before it might reverse and actually go to the other side, right? So I don't want to like get stopped out by just being so completely wrong, right? But I did find this, and we were in this zone, and we were rejecting it, and so I thought, okay, cool. I want to see it come up and sweep these highs, right? I want to see it come up and sweep the last 30 minutes. I think I said that word for word, and then we entered in somewhere like over here, or something, and then it came up, and so I entered in on another position like up here when it started dumping, and then we moved this trend line, and then we confirmed the counter trend line with this low and this low. We used these highs, these three highs, and then this consolidation, right? We used that to create the main trend. And so what it told us was it was rejecting this. I entered in off of this and somewhere over here, creating this entry, right? And my stop loss was put above, originally it was put above this high, which isn't like a crazy high, but it was the only one that made sense because I wasn't going to go for this one. Going for this one would have made my stop loss like $300 or $400, which is just unreasonable for a trade like this. If it's going to go past this high, it's probably going to go past this high, probably going to at least go towards this high, right? So I don't want to be a part of a trade if I'm trying to short it and it's just pumping up. That being said, it stayed in the trend, so I entered second time off of that. And since then, it's just been pushing. It broke out. It retested this breakout, right? Came down, retested again, second retest, third retest. Right now, we're just kind of fighting this 1 hour zone. I don't think it's a fair value gap or anything. It's just a zone that I have marked out. But we are targeting this down here, which I think is a low. Or, yeah, something close to. That's what we're targeting. Yeah. Yeah. Probably just go for another 10 minutes or so. Honestly, at this point, we can remove this too. Don't need that counter trend anymore because there is no counter trend. It is simply a pullback. That is all it is. It is only a counter trend until it keeps pushing past. Right? Like, this is a counter trend. No, it's not gonna again, but that was the counter trend. That was the sign. That was like, okay, time to short. Time to short. Right now we just kind of chill out, chillax, vibe. You know what I mean? Something like that. I think one thing traders also kind of there's some misconception about, like, we can't read the future, right? We can read the past. That makes sense, right? Because all of this has happened. Whatever is happening or to happen hasn't yet, right? All we can read is the past. So there's no way to like actually predict the future. What we're predicting is probabilities. Where will it probably go? What will it probably do? Right? I think it'll probably go down because for it to go up, it should probably go down, right? It's how it works, man. It's how it works. It's gotta go up, gotta go down. Whatever comes up must come down. I don't know. Something like that. Something like that, man. Right now, you could even say, hey, this is a low time frame counter trend. You got the 1 minute creating a higher low. So now we're going to create another squeeze. But this one doesn't follow this trend, right? Because it's rejecting here, not here. That means chances are we see it reject here, or we create a new line, right? Create a new line somewhere that makes sense. Yeah, we could kind of use that. It's not amazing, but it lines up, right? We got this zone and we got this trend, right? And it's saying, hey, we're still in a downtrend. Okay. It's got this. This is like the first line of defense, right? And then if it breaks through this, it's still got to break through this, right? And then of course it's got this zone that it actually broke out of, retested, right? And now it's just fighting it. Now it's created this trend, right? Uh, that's our first and then second line of defense, and then third line of defense, right? Our fourth line of defense would be this one, where worst case scenario, if it breaks past this line, we shouldn't be in the trade, right? So that actually does mean at this point we can move our stop loss somewhere we don't expect it to get hit, right? Because if it were to get hit and then still continue down, that'd just be a pain in the ass. But if we put it somewhere that's still relatively safe, like price has to push past one, two, three, four things, right? It has to push past four things that are telling me that I want to see price go down. If I can put my stop loss somewhere above that, somewhere safely above that, that way if price does want to sweep, it can sweep. But if we see a close, then we get stopped out on the next candle or whatever. That way we also can't lose any money. This, like whatever this is, yeah, $100. So worst case scenario, we still make $100 even after fees and whatever withdrawals or whatever. That's an appropriate time to move your stop loss. If we had just saw it move like this and we just hit profit, moving your stop loss right here, yeah, it's fine. You could get away with that. But let's say it did get hit. Like it just magically got hit a little too early. And then it keep going down. And then you do the math and you're like, holy shit, I could have made $700 at this peak. Well, I mean, chances of you catching that peak are a little low because your take profit wasn't set there. But you're not wrong. Like you should have made more money on that trade. You move your stop loss a little too early. Right now, it's like, okay, it's formed enough stuff that's like, okay, if it's gonna go up, then I don't want to be a part of this trade anymore anyways. I don't even want it to go into the negative because if it went into the negative, then I would be wrong about it going down. It should be that simple. I don't even know what else to say about it. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Holy shit. Been here for a minute. No, I might just exit this trade because I want to get off. It's like 12 o'clock. It's midnight. So that's our first line of defense. We can still see a close within this zone, and it could still go. As long as we don't see a close above the zone, then we're on our last line, which is the major trend line. I still don't see it pushing past, but leave this all night and wake up with an extra $1,500 in my paper account. But since it's paper, I really don't care all that much about it. If I were to do something, I'd buy a micro and put it on my real account. That way, since I'm not paying attention to it, if I did lose and I couldn't do anything about it, you can minimize your losses significantly just because it's like each mini is like 10 times a micro. You can get like 3 micros and have a lot less risk, essentially. You can still make good money too, though. You can still make like $300 or $400 easily. The same trade that would make $400 or $500 let's do the math. Same trade that might make $1,000 on one micro or mini. Fuck, this shit gets confusing. Mini, micro, same thing, right? It's not. Why not? Why's it got to be the same name, right? Why can't it be like mega and tiny? You know, that'd be a little easier. In micro, just easy to fuck up. Then okay, so this is like a nice distribution. Like cleanly, very clean. If we were for which isn't necessary, it's not appropriate either. But it is. This is a market phase that we were talking about yesterday, or what was it, Friday or something. This is one of those market phases, just really low time frame, right? So this is. It's got all of it. It's got the stop, it's got the retest, got the secondary test, got the whatever, and then it's got the breakout, it's got the change character, you know. But it's all on really, really low time frames. So we're not going to be able to see that kind of thing. It might even have done its move on those lower time frames, but what we want to see is we want to see it just right and then continue past this line. If we can break out of this line, I'm sure we're going to hit that zone again at the very least. Yeah, we just want to see it dumping, dump truck. Yeah, good close. Okay, man. Okay. 5 minute looks all right too. Looking good, man. Looking good. See this 1 minute breakout of trend. And you know what I mean. You know what I mean, man. I think you know what I mean, man. Just want to see this close below. Please. Please. Okay. Not ideal. We can still see dump. Let's still see dump. Let's dump. Just dump it. Dump it. Dump it. Bah! Trying to scare it. Maybe that'll work. So slow. So fucking slow. Oh man. These after hour sessions, Asia, it's just so slow. Because who the hell trades US market during Asia? US market should be asleep. No, this is good though. The 1 minute broke out. The next 5 minute opens here in 30 seconds. Which is good. This is good. Unless the fucking next 20 seconds were just all upside and pushed and it wicked. If it did that, then obviously we'd get stopped out too, but that would be the one thing we don't want to see. But that, probability wise, should not happen, right? Probability wise, it should at least take out this low, right? And then we have to still fight this whole zone, which I would like to see another dump like it did earlier, at least one like that. That would be good. That would get us through the zone. And then on to our take profit. So here's that next 5 minute opening. It's probably going to close this just so there's no fair value gaps. because market likes to fuck all of you ICT traders who think fair value gaps are the only way to trade. There's more to it than that, man. There's more to it. I don't have enough information. No, there's not enough going on. The VWAP is nice. I couldn't explain it to you if I wanted to, but it is nice sometimes. Just you need more information than we have for this one. That being said, you could set it like all the way back here. Be like, okay, damn. If you were to look at that and be like, damn, it's time to buy. It's time to buy in long. That's what that would be saying. High time frame. You said this zone. I mean, I'd like to see it keep pushing down a little bit. Could even just be like, yo, I just want to cut my losses. Nah. I'm gonna see it keep going down. I mean, consolidation wise, it could consolidate in this zone. Then market open, see it pump up. Right. So something like this. Because these London sessions are pretty slow too. Probably see it do something like this. And then see our pump up. Should be really nice. That kind of move. That's realistic for the rest of the night, honestly. Could even see something like this, which would stop me out, definitely stop me out. But we could just see it consolidate for the rest of the night. Could see it pump early morning, right? Consolidate a little more, and then we could see it dump on market. Could be, I got like a cut in my nose. This shit sucks. Like gets itchy and then I wipe it and then it fucking stings. But yeah, you could see something like this. I mean, usually the rest of the night is pretty slow. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I still hope we see long tomorrow. I'd like to see longs in the morning. Just keep it simple, man. All right. Just see it cleanly reject this level. Let's just see it follow the trend. Next 2 minutes or so I should get stopped out, or we should continue to the right direction. I guess I shouldn't even say that, just should continue down. At this point, I'd like to see it at least match these lows. That would confirm the phase, which at that point might be worth selling out. Yeah. Bummer. Well, guys, we made $1,424 tonight. Only $100 here on stream, though. We can check it. I didn't really take any other trades. So when was that? That wasn't even today. This was today. Okay, so we got 1,362. That was before the stream, honestly, but that was an easy trade. I didn't like it was streaming because there was like no strategy that had to be like implied. It was just kind of like, I know it's going down, so I'm going to take this trade. But this was the one we recorded, entered twice, got stopped out. Yep. That's our day. Realistically, it'd be a good set this for the rest of the night. It's pretty reasonable, right? Don't you think? $200. Hold on. Yeah. Take profit at this level, which is a 15-minute fair value gap. I am gonna get the fuck off though. It is late, and I'm sure you can tell by my voice I am tired. It is late. Late. It's very late. I'll let this one run. I'll probably post it in the morning on my Snapchat. If you want to follow my Snapchat and you somehow watch this far through the live stream, it is Icarix. I think it's the same as the YouTube. The YouTube name, the actual like username is like IcarFX. It's the actual name, Icarix. That's my Snapchat. I don't think I can add people back anymore. It says I have like too many friends or something because I usually just add everyone back who adds me. So I can't necessarily add too many people back, but it would be great if you followed me because you can at least watch my daily post. You can keep up with when I'm live streaming. You can keep up with future updates and announcements. Stuff like that. Things I don't post on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok get posted on Snapchat. I respond to people more often on Snapchat. Now, if you send snaps, I don't typically answer snaps, but I will answer like messages. Like if it's a blue chat box, you know what I mean? I'll answer that, but I don't typically answer the. Oh, did you hear that? That was my hip. I don't typically answer the actual snaps because I've literally been sent shit that's just not okay. So send messages. I'll respond to those. If I know who you are, I might open your snap, but it's different. All right, guys. I think we're gonna hop off. It was a good stream. An hour and 43 minutes. Pretty good. It's pretty good. We didn't have a whole lot to talk about tonight, but I hope you learned something. If not, I have 7 other videos that are meant to teach you something. If those aren't enough for you, I have a Discord. The link is in the description. It is not free. However, it is worth it. And there is more content inside of the Discord. I've shared videos that I've learned from. I'm making videos currently for all the members inside. And I mean, yeah, you have access to my YouTube. Every morning we do live streams, kind of like this one, just inside the Discord, where we can just all collaborate. There's usually one guy who always shows up. Every now and then the other people will come in too, but there's always one guy That one guy's just killing it. He's absolutely killing it. He passed his funded account last week. So far, only lost $500, but I think he's still doing well. He's on his way to hitting profit and taking payout, whatever. It's good. It's good. I want you to be the next one. So you got to get in there. It's in the description. It is in the description. You can open that page, at least read through it. You can read a little bit more about what we do, what we are, how we're going to function in the community, right? Um, what a terrible trade that was. Just lost $150. Oh, man. What the fuck, man? It's fine. We let it ride. We let it ride. We could even actually do this. Do this. Interesting. Interesting. Have we broken out? Have we broken out? I don't know. Not really. Well, isn't that just neat? Neato Bambito. All right. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we're getting off. Uh, oh yeah, the Discord. The Discord. We do live streams every morning. No, I said that. Yeah, we're good. I'll see you guys next time. Uh, Tuesday. Tuesday sound good. Tuesday sounds good. I'll see you on Tuesday.